Hi guys! Welcome to the babies channel. Today at last I'm doing it. I'm doing the live stream about how I got the babies. You know that the babies are rescues. Charlie is a rock star and the star of the channel. Lisa is the queen, voila. It was her birthday a few days ago, so I thought it was a good opportunity to take her birthday as an occasion to do the live stream about how I got the babies and rescue in Japan, because you know that this is something dear to my heart, because my channel, our channel, is about food but also the babies, right? Hi Cecile. So I think I'm going to start with Charlie. You've seen in the thumbnail, I will make it bigger after this live stream. It will appear bigger in the thumbnail, but when I got Charlie 4 years ago. You have to watch there, baby. You have to watch there. Hi Ramses. Hi Jason. Happy birthday that day. Happy birthday. It's actually, guys, siesta time, so I think the babies are not going to spend the whole live stream with us. I have 3 cats and 2 dogs. Lisa has been with us the longest with Maya, one of the cats. Charlie joined the family 4 years ago and he loves his mama, as you can see. Charlie was rescued from facility where they breed animals. It's located close to Kyoto. In the mountains, because I think that obviously the people who do that want to hide the fact that they have about 300 to 400 animals being bred there. Chihuahuas, but also other dog breeds. And when I got Charlie, he was really in bad shape, as I think you can see in the picture. He had no hair, because what happened is that at this facility they hi Manami-san, Manami-san, konnichiwa. They let the dogs that are not useful to them anymore, they make them die from hunger. So Charlie, that you can see here, so like, right? He's a star. He's so full of energy and so beautiful now. But when I got him, he had no hair. He was very, very, very thin, because he was left to die from hunger. Obviously, he was used, to reproduce, to make babies. He's a stud. Voila. And then I don't know what happened, but he was left to die from hunger. And what happens is that there are people who take care of the animals there, and one of the persons surreptitiously take out some of the animals she can take out, and she hides. Of course, she doesn't. Nobody knows she's doing this, but she thinks that those animals are just. This is just so horrible, right? How could you make an animal die from hunger after using it for so many years? So Charlie was saved because Lisa, she was abandoned in the street and she ended up at the pound, so at least she had the possibility to live, right? Charlie and the other dogs who are left to die from hunger, they are not given the chance to be rescued, right? Because they are left in the compound to die from hunger. But he was lucky to be taken out by this woman. And I think this is amazing that she keeps, on going there and, feed the animals that are used and helps the ones in need, because it must be so hard to see all this suffering, right? And when I got Charlie, how did I know about Charlie is that I was connected on Facebook with the woman who takes in the animals, foster them, and try to find them families. She lives close to Kyoto too. And life made it that I had become friends. I had become friends with her 3 days before she took Charlie in. And I saw Charlie and I thought, oh my God, it's just, I don't know if you can see properly on the thumbnail, but it's just so horrible, those pictures. And I could see so much suffering in his eyes. And I thought, how can human beings make a living being suffer that much? And it just broke my heart. And of course, I cried and I thought, oh my God, this is unbearable, right? It's just so horrible. And then, I'm sorry, it's just, I can't help, seeing those images, and it was terrible, I couldn't help just seeing those images and think, poor thing, right? Sorry about that, guys. It's just, it was 4 years ago and it's still, those images are just so terrible. And I thought, nobody's going to take this baby in because, he was in such a bad shape. Sorry about that, guys. I've told this story so many times, but I don't know why today is just hard. And I thought, I'm going to become this baby's mother because I had the confidence, I could take care of him. Thank you, guys. And this is live. I have to take my bearings. I thought, because everybody takes in the small ones, the kittens, the doggies, but Charlie, he was just in such a bad shape. He was so thin, he had no hair, and he looked, some people after that told me this is not how I saw it. What I saw was just so much suffering, right? But some people after that told me, I don't know how you did this, because Charlie looked like a zombie when you took him in. And I think it's just because I saw him with the eyes of love, right? Well, at least that's what my friends said. And so I contacted the person who does the foster. And the thing is that this woman, she does foster only in Kyoto area. That is because she wants, when you do rescue in Japan and also in other countries, I believe, want to go and check out the house, the place where the animal is going to live, right? He's so cute. I have to focus on him right now. And I have to take those images out of my head. And the thing is that at the time, you know, it was destiny, I think, because I was working in Kyoto once a month. So I was supposed to go there the following weekend. I was doing French food pairing, thanks Phil, with sake, and I would go there once a month. And so I contacted Shinatu-san and I told her, hey, you know, I know that you don't find homes for Lisa, for the fosters in the Tokyo area, but here, okay, here is what I do, because I had been doing rescue in Japan for many years already. And I said, hey, okay, I have Lisa, this is my dog, she's a rescue. I explained, and I said, I know that you're not giving away the babies in the Kanto area, but I've seen this Chihuahua and I believe I can become his mother and make him happy, and he will make me happy too. And I think also that, you know, you will have its difficulties to find a family for him quickly because he's in such a bad shape, but I can get good care of him. So please think about it. And I'm going to Tokyo in about 10 days, to Kyoto. So if you'd be willing, you know, to give him to me, and if not, if it's too early, we can meet, and I'm coming again in a month, so, you know, you can think it over. And she said, okay, because she saw what I was doing, of course. Well, I was lucky because we were connected on Facebook, and she could see all I had been doing already. And then she said, you know, I have a friend who does rescue in Tokyo, so she will go to your place and check out where Charlie is going to live and how he is after a week or two of, you know, after being rescued. And so this is how it started. And when I went to Kyoto, I took him in, of course, and I brought him back. And so he had been out of the breeding facility for about 10 days. So he started, what is amazing is that, you know, with just the proper care, the love, and just being clean in a clean environment, and you know, food, and just, you know, doing those normal things that are, you know, taking care of a living being, right? His hair had started growing already, you know, it was really thin, but it had started growing already. And he had, for a few months, had really bad itching. His skin was very itchy. I think this is why he had no hair when he was rescued, because he was just, you know, scratching himself all over all the time. So what I had to do is I put a lot of coconut oil on his body all the time, because I knew it could help with itching. He's sleeping, I think. He wants to sleep. Then I would wrap him with, you know, tenugui or those things, so that he wouldn't hurt himself, because he was just feeling so itchy, right? But honestly, guys, you will see, I might put, you know, do the before after picture on my Instagram, because the babies, they have their Instagram. I think a month and a half, 2 months after, he had a lot of hair already. And you know, his tail, it was like he had no hair, and like his tail looked like a root. You know, we have gobo, what we call gobo. See how fluffy he does the dust, you know. Um, at the end, you know, his tail, he started having hair on his tail too, and now look how he's a little lion, right? But I think that's, yes, he's a fighter, as you wrote. His will to live, I think, after being rescued, and his need of love, human love, and all the love he gives us, I think that's what amazes me most about Charlie, because right away he he was asking for love. He was always like, you know, just snuggling with me, and also with his Lisa. He loves his Lisa. It's just a time, so they have to go there. I think that Charlie is really a little miracle. And even, you know, in the on the pictures, and not only on YouTube but Instagram and Facebook, everybody loves Charlie because he just has this thing. You know, he goes to people and people feel attracted by him because he has so much love, right? But that amazed me because he had lived all of his life, so we don't know how old he is, but he had lived, he was adult, that's for sure. The vet told me that he was an elder dog. Not sure about that because I've had him for 4 years. Hopefully for more years to come. I'm not going to make him a YouTube channel because it's hard enough to keep up with our channel, you know. So in those breeding facilities, the animal, they live in small cages. So just imagine, for example, the first time I took him for a walk, he didn't know what a walk was. He just sat in front of the house, and he was like, the leash, he didn't know what it was, and he didn't know. He just sat, and he was like, you know, what's going on? So I had to carry him first and then get him used to go to a walk a little at a time. So no walks, living in a cage. You know, those animals, they live in their own shit. Alas, I'm sorry, I have to be crude, but that's really a reality. And this is why, you know, I mean, those who don't realize that buying animals at pet shops, what's behind that is just hell. This is why I have to be crude, because if you don't know what's going on what's behind the pet shops, you have to, because it's animals living hell, in hellish conditions all of their lives. In Japan, we don't have regulations, so I mean, if I'd wanted to be a breeder tomorrow, I don't say that all of the breeders are bad, nor all the facilities, but there are many bad people who breed animals for the money. We know that, and not only in Japan, in every country. So this is why, you know, also I think there are so many in the streets and at the pound that instead of buying, we should be rescuing. But that's me, huh? But Charlie had spent his life in a cage. So even the toilet, he didn't know. He saw Lisa because I had Lisa already. So he saw her doing her pee-pee, you know, on the pet sheets. This is how he learned how to do this. But oh my God, it took such a long time to, you know, there are less accidents now, but it took such a long time to get him to have him get used to do on pet sheets, and okay, we go on a walk and this is when you do your business, and blah blah blah. When I got him, as he didn't have any hair, we could see that he had been bitten here, and he probably got no care at all. So it was really a nasty, he had a nasty scar. I don't know if it's because he's a rescue and he had to fight for food, or I'm not sure. But for years he would eat, he would pee on the food after that, because to show it was his food, right? So that nobody would take it. So it was I know that some dogs who are not rescues maybe do this, but Charlie has been through a lot. This is why now I'm really, my main fight now is against pet stores, pet shops, because it is said that in Japan, behind one animal that you will buy in pet stores, at least 10 die in the process of making a cute puppy or a cute kitten. Why? Because they get rid of the ones who are not perfect, let's say perfect, which is in those breeds, they are pretty, they are not strong breeds, so that happens a lot. And then anything, they just get rid of the animals. And so it's not just that, it's also all the suffering behind, all those animals living in cages in their shit. It's just terrible, right? I see many people doing who do rescue. It's like, so I could become a breeder tomorrow, and some people, they don't have a clue how hard it is to take care of an animal, right? And all of a sudden it's like the grandpa, grandma, they retire. Okay, let's breed animals and make money out of it. Because a Chihuahua, it costs what, something like 200,000 yen, so that's about $2,000, right? That's a lot of money, and people think they don't get that, but in stores, when you see that, they think, okay, big profit out of it, right? So I see many cases of pets being rescued for horrid conditions, because all of a sudden the old men and women realize that having 10 dogs or 20 or 30, it's impossible. They just they can't handle it. And you see the pictures, you're like, what is this? Is this hell? Like dogs being in cages with piles of shit like this, and in the dark rooms, and you're like, how is this possible? It's not, I mean, this is I can't imagine that some people would have animals living in such conditions. So anyways, I'm going now to tell you the story about Lisa. So Lisa, I got her 6 years ago. She was rescued from, if you have questions, don't hesitate, I'm okay now. Lisa, I got her 6 years ago. I was, following a rescue in Okinawa at the time. It's a group of American women, because there is the shoot, I don't remember the words, don't pop out, but there is the American army there, and so the women have created this rescue group, and what they do is that they go to the pound, it's called Osato in Okinawa, and they upload every week pictures of the dogs that have been taken in. And I had been following them for a long time already. I had actually had asked them to, one of the dogs they had selected, because each week they select when they have enough fosters. Because the thing is that, you know, you can take out an animal, but if you don't have a foster or a family to adopt the animal, then you can't take the animals out from the pound, right? So when they have space for the animals, they say, okay, this week we checked out their character, if they are sociable and blah, blah, blah. We took out this dog, this dog, this dog. And the first dog rescue that I did in Japan is one of the dogs they had selected, and she looked so sweet. And this is Lily, who's in France now. I don't think I was doing YouTube yet, so you haven't seen Lily live, but you probably saw pictures on Facebook or Instagram. Even now on Instagram, I don't put so many pictures of the babies. I'm trying to focus, you know, on the food. So she was the first one. And then after that, I saw Lisa and I thought, and in the description, you know, it was written elder dog. And oh my God, she was just like so teeny tiny and so scared and just, you know, just kawaiso, like poor thing, right? And I could see she was just so gentle. And elder dog, nobody wants the elder dogs either, you know what I mean? Like Charlie, not good looking at the time, now he's super handsome, right? Lisa, elder dog, people, they want the puppies, they want the young ones, the healthy ones. So are you so Lily? Okay, good, cool. Phil, see, the stars are working for us. So I saw her, and what happens is that when the pound is full, on Fridays they gas the animals because they have to make room. In Japan, it is said, so figures differ from the sites, but the average that you will find is that about 100,000 animals are gassed every year because they gas them. You know, they can't even do injections. So hi Nosh. And I saw her and I thought, because at the time I just had one cat, I will tell you his story afterwards, and I thought he needs company, and I can have another dog, but a small dog that will be able to travel with me to France if necessary. And on Air France, your animal can travel with you in your crate in the carrier if the carrier and the animal do not weigh more than 7 kilos. Lisa, she's less than 3 kilos, so she fits the requirements. And I saw her and I thought, oh my God, this poor dog, she can be, you know, maybe she's the dog I should be rescuing. And I followed. I waited because, you know, I wanted to also to pick an animal who wouldn't have been picked by the rescue group. Because when it's picked, it's saved, the animal is saved. So I wanted to find another animal, an animal who was on the death row, right? And after 2 days, I'm like, hey, I've seen this Yorkie. Is anyone showing interest in her? And of course, nobody, because she was in the category elder dogs. But I had in my mind, it was already decided, you know. And then 3 days before gassing, I'm like, still no, like, it was the following day, I think. I'm like, still no interest, and they were like, no. And I said, okay, I'd like I'd like you to take her out for me. I will rescue her, and no need of foster or whatever. I can see that the dog is okay, right? And this is how I got Lisa. So what they do then is, as it's a group of Americans and there are lots of people traveling to Tokyo, about a week or two later, someone was coming to Tokyo and flew with Lisa. It was a girl who was in transit because she was going back to her country. So we just and they passed me, Lisa. But it was, I think, like with Charlie, love at first sight, just something. And I think it's in the eyes. With Lily, it was the same. Lily, when I saw her, the pictures at the pound, I saw that she was so scared, but also I could see she was so gentle and so smart. And that girl is just so smart. When I went to pick her up at Narita Airport, she knew right away. It was crazy because she was in her carrier. And I was, I don't know, maybe 30-40 meters away, and I saw her and we locked eyes and she knew. And that was really crazy. And what is really crazy and sometimes breaks my heart, because, I feel like, because I'm her mama and I'm still her mama, and even if she's super happy in France with my father, she's living the high life of a Bordelaise now. Nonetheless, each time I go there and my father is like, I can't believe this. I take care of her all year long, and when you're here, she forgets about everybody. She has eyes only for you. And I think it's just because they know, because, I rescued her, and so it's there, right? But Lisa, yes, that's the story. So also what happens is that when you rescue animals from the pound, they sterilize them, right, systematically, which is, I think, a good thing, because, then they make sure that they don't make more babies that might end up in the street, right? Yes, and conditional love. Voilà, if you have questions. Alors the cats, Phil wants to take Stella to work every day. I want to take my babies to work every day too. And everywhere. I want a private jet to be able to travel with them. Can you chip in, guys? The cats are strays that I found. Alors Maya was a stray that was around the place where I used to live. And I think I've seen her for something like 6-7 years. I think I was seeing her a little bit before Lisa came in, so. And for years I couldn't touch her. Now she's, oh my God, she adores me. She is like always sleeping on me, and oh my God, she's so cute. But it took time. Jessica, you're going to chip in so that we can fly on a private jet. Yay, thank you. Poupou, the black and white cat, was a kitten. Oh my God, so cute. At the former place too, he was in my garage. And like, oh my God, the small fluffy thing. And he was, oh my God, I can't believe he was smaller than Lisa and Charlie. And then we have Coco, who I found on Halloween night. That was 2.5 years ago, I think. Yes, something like that. She was behind, oh my God, she was so small, like I'd say 4 or 5 weeks. She was so small, but so noisy. And you know, I think I have, it's just that I have antennas for the animals in need, and I just can't let an animal in need in the street, right? I've always been like that, so you know. But now I live on my own, so I do what I want, right? I don't have my father or whoever telling me, hey, this is too much. We can't have more than 8 cats, right? And I was like, oh my God, there is a cat. A cat is crying. And I spotted, you know, I thought, okay, seems it's coming from behind that vending machine. And oh my God, I see this small fluffy thing that, you know, runs away. And I'm like, oh my God, it's a kitten, right? And it must be on its own, like no mother on. And so I took I have, you know, because I do TNR also, you know, like trap, neuter, return, like take the strays to the vet, have them neutered, and then return, put them back in their natural environment, because obviously I don't have my pet shelter yet, so I can't rescue them all. But you know, we do them a favor when we neuter them, because it's better for them, especially, you know, the female cats, because if not, they have babies all year around, right? Which is bad. Not talking about the fact that it makes more strays, right? So this is something, you know, that I do. So I have these traps. Because I couldn't catch her, of course, she was too quick. So I went back home, took the trap, walked back, she was still there, and this is how I got her. And oh my God, she was so fierce, but so small. So what I did is right away, you have to have them get used to the human hand, right? So I touched them right away, even if she was hissing and so angry at me, but you know, she knew that I wasn't a bad person. Following day, bath. Oh my God, guys, that's the only time I never bath my cats. I think that some people do. I'm not sure why, because cats are clean animals. They don't need to take a bath, I think. But when you rescue, you take in an animal, you have to, because they have fleas and you don't know what, right? And also you have to separate them from the healthy ones, because you never know if they might have some disease, right? So thank you. I'm not sure I'm a good person, but you know, with animals I'm pretty good, I think. So oh my God, the water was just so like brown, because she was really like, you know, lots of dust, etc, etc. And the fleas, guys, oh my God, it was horrible, because she was in the water, so the fleas escaped to her head. I could see the fleas jumping on her head. And I thought, oh my God, so many fleas on such a small body. And I think it's really, you know, it breaks my heart sometimes to think, when I think, you know, strays, they have a lot to fight with, you know. It's not only survival, because they have to find food, but it's also all those small things maybe we don't think about, but they have, I mean, fleas are a calamity for them. So that's the story of Coco. Voilà, voilà. I don't know if you have any questions, but I have to explain you also that Nanami-san ne, Manami-san janai desu ne. When I was a kid, I was, you know, I couldn't help taking in the strays, and I did things, you know, for animals. I'm not going to go into detail, that's another story. But then I came to Japan, and it's hard because you live on your own, you're not in your country, and also, you know, here you won't see strays as you see, I think, maybe in other countries or in France. Really, I mean, people, if they see an animal in the street, they report it right away. Everything. It's not only the animals. It's also, you know, like there is a crazy French, like yelling in the street or whatever, they would report me right away. Hein? It's very, c'est très policé, like, you know, you can't, there is no much freedom, I think, in Japan when it comes to that. There are always eyes everywhere. So you don't really see so many animals. Then also maybe for the stray cats, depends, but dogs, it's pretty rare. Alors, who takes care of my babies when I travel? Friends, or I have a good pet sitter now. I found a new one, so now it's between friends or pet sitters. Voila, a pet sitter. But they stay at home. They don't go to like pet hotels, or I think, you know, and also I have 5. So they keep each other company, they stay, I'm not here, but even when it's just a pet sitter who comes every day an hour, at least they're home, so they don't get disturbed by going somewhere, going to a pet hotel where I think maybe other dogs are some are barking. And also I think that to Lisa and Charlie, that would be pretty stressful, because I think they would be traumatized, maybe thinking that I'm putting them back from where they're coming. You know what I mean? Even if it's a pet hotel or it would be the vet, they would be, very often pet hotels, they put the animals in cages here. So not really my cup of tea. I prefer to have someone, you know, coming to my home. Voilà. So coming back to rescue, I started doing rescue in Japan after 14 years when Fukushima happened, because I will do live stream someday. You know, it's like this one I've been promising you forever. I'm doing it at last. Fukushima has been such a traumatizing experience, horrible experience. It's kind of in the past now. I mean, not traumatizing anymore, because I wouldn't take the train and think, oh my god, what if I can't get home because something might happen and blah 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 blah, you know, which was the case for a very long time after Fukushima happened. But okay, this is, well, I will make a live stream about Fukushima some other day. But this is when I started doing rescue again, and when I did rescue in Japan. I had helped a few animals, but like that, you know, not, I wasn't really, let's say, into it. And what happened is that with Fukushima, so many people left their animals there. The animals were basically abandoned. And there was it's the 20-kilometer zone, I think, where people were not allowed to go back. Anyways, I mean, if people wanted to go back, because of course, I believe that some people wanted to go back, but they weren't allowed to go back. The army was there. Everything was blocked because of the radiations. So many animals were left on their own. And also, you know, lots of people evacuated. So they had, some people are just, they just, you know, some people wouldn't live without their pets, other people do. That's how it goes. And which is like unthinkable to me. Like yesterday, we had the big typhoon, and my sister, she calls me, she's like, you're on the news, and I'm like, oh, don't tell me it's about the typhoon. She was like, yes. And she's like, you're going to wear you're not going to wear pajamas, right? You're going to wear just something in case you have to run away, to go away from your home, right? And I'm like, well, anyways, with the babies, if the house, I feel the house is going to fall apart, how can I get out of the house safe and sound? Because I have to, I have the babies, and so she was like, yeah, you're right, but just in case, don't wear pajamas. But when Fukushima happened, so many people left their animals behind. Also, what is hard in Japan, it's changing now. They're creating more and more places where the people can take shelter with their animals. Because I think that especially when Fukushima happened, that was a big issue that was raised, because some people wouldn't go to the shelters because they are their animals, and they wanted to stay with their animals. I need an evacuation plan for me and the babies. The cat is okay, I think. If I open just the window, they can, or the veranda. But Lisa and Charlie, who are always by my side, I can grab, right? But there were so many animals left behind, and I wanted to help. Not only at first, I was thinking, okay, the humans, what can I do, blah 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 blah. But then it turned out that my situation at the time, it was easier for me to help animals. I also helped humans, let's say. I wish that sometimes people would realize that if you're someone who can help animals, obviously you love humans too, and you help animals too. It's not, one doesn't go without the other. I think, at least in my case, this is how I function. So I did many, like fundraising, and and sending things, etc., etc. But then, the animal thing, I was like, oh my God, so many animals left alone. So I started supporting rescues. There were also rescues organized by foreigners, which makes things easier, when it's in English. And like pretty good organization, So I heard about a shelter close to that Fukushima area. And there were, I think, okay, there was the main shelter, but the thing is that there were thousands of animals. So what they would do is they would transport the animals to Kansai or other areas of the country in trucks, or small vans. People were volunteering and doing, the transportation, and other people would, like chip in, and, it was just super well organized, and like everybody was really working hard to save as many animals as possible. So this is how I started doing rescue again. And I went that summer in July. I could take a week off. So I contacted them and I said, hey, I've been helping you doing this or that, but it was more like on the net and funding and those things. And I said, I could take a week off. Where do you need me to go? And they sent me to a shelter run by a foreigner in Tokushima. So I went there, and oh my God, love at first sight. Also with Sasuke, this is why the name of my the shelter, if I have one someday, will be Sasuke no Hakogune. It will be Sasuke's arc, not Jennifer's, because that cat really, he was so smart. He was human inside. I can tell you that. People who know me that know that I'm super crazy, and oh my god, that cat was so amazing. And I thought, what do I care about? What if I what will I do when I go back to France? What will I do if I have a business trip? I did my week there, and I went back home with one more luggage that was Sasuke in a carrier, right? Because I thought, okay, that's one less at the shelter. You make room for more to come, right? And at the time, the people who ran the shelter told me, hey, the owners, they say it's temporary because they are in temporary houses right now. So in 2 years, when they get out of the temporary shelter, they will take him back. And in my head, I thought, yeah, right. In 2 years, do you know how many things can happen? What can happen in 2 years? And will the people really want to take the cat back? Well, 2 years later, and never heard about those people, but I thought, once, oh my god, it was, I'm bad because I shouldn't say this publicly, because maybe it will play against me someday, but when the cat was home, I was like, you will never leave this house. That is for sure, I will never hand you back, But those people, they had one dog and 2 cats, and they would go to feed back their animals supposedly once a week, but then the animals were there on their own. And when I got Sasuke, oh my god, I arrived at the Fukushima shelter. Sasuke had arrived like the day before or 2 days ago. He was so thin. And I thought, well, it's good that after 3 months, the owners realized that they couldn't do this anymore. It wasn't good for them. It wasn't good for the animals to leave them on their own like that. And I mean, with the dog, I don't know. Well, with dry food, okay, maybe, but still, you can't, they need us, right? So anyways, this is how, I started doing rescue again. And then, I would go and help regularly at the shelter in Fukushima, in Awashiro. And I helped, trying to find funds, and I was coordinating the volunteers because that's something I could do from Tokyo. And then, things, it's kind of, let's say, settle a little bit, or you get into that new routine and you know how to handle things. And it's the same with work. Those who know me know how I am, and it's that when I'm used to do something, then I want to do more, and I want to do better, right? And I found out about those the pounds in Japan, all those animals who are like gassed. And I thought, oh my god, I have to try and help on that side too. And this is, the fil en aiguille, how I ended up, voila, I have, now it's just 3 cats and 2 dogs. But it's a lot of work, as you may imagine, because, voila, because, they need the attention, they need, you have to feed them, you have to take care of them, you have to take them on walks, to clean. And so it's basically, you know how it is. It's like having I like, it's really my babies, right? I had another cat. I had last year, a year ago, we had one more cat. We had Bianco, who was another cat that I had found in my garden at the time. He passed away. So now it's just 3 cats and 2 dogs, but voila, and it's good. For now, I think, I'm not checking out too much those sites anymore, because I don't have babies to let them on their own, so I refrain from traveling. I go on business trips when I have to, but I try to be here as much as possible, huh? Because they deserve it. Huh? They're so cute. Voila. So I think now, have I explained any questions you may have? Because I'm sorry I got so emotional. That was pretty unexpected, but you know how it goes. We are live. I can never plan how I'm going to be, right? So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. If not, I should go back to work. Alors, my cats, no, the cats are sleeping and they are hiding. Thank you, Jason. So I can't show them to you right now. They will be pissed if I go and they will know that something is not quite right. So voila, sorry, you can't see the cats. But you can go on Charlie Boy Connection on Instagram. You will see plenty of pictures of the babies. Do I rent my house? Phil, this is not... This has nothing to do with babies. Right? I have... that's a good question. I don't rent my house. I own my house, Phil. Voila, I bought my house a few years ago. I haven't done, Do you speak to your fur babies in French or Japanese? French and Japanese, yes. No English. You wondered how the landlord would feel. Alors, Phil, actually that makes me remember some talk about, animals in Japan. It's becoming a super big business. So there are more and more now insurances, money, business, but also, apartments where you can have animals now, which wasn't the case. Like when I arrived in Japan 22 years ago, I was shocked to see that there were apartments where you were not allowed to have animals, which was super weird to me, because in France we have this magazine, it's called 30 millions d'amis. 30 millions is 30 million, right? 30 million. 30 millions d'amis, 30 million of friends, meaning pets. I know very few people who don't have a pet in France. It's rare not to have a pet in France. In Japan, now more and more people have animals, but it's because things are changing. Because I think also they've realized that there was a super big business behind it. So this is why we have more and more pet shops, which is a nightmare. I hate it. Again, huh? But then all the people around, I've seen in programs, apartments where you can have pets with a trimmer, a vet, and a pet store. on the ground floor. See, but I think it's more addressed to people who have, you know, certain means. But I thought, oh my God, how much of a business has become, you know, the pet business in Japan? We save our pets, but in turn they save us too. Yes, indeed. So I think that, you know, um, people are more realizing, and there are more things. I've seen a commercial, but it's like I think it's country related NPO. So they would, you know, put those commercial about how, for example, okay, do not smoke in the street because it might annoy the people walking around you, or let's do this way because, you know, basically it's how, what to do to live in good harmony in the society. There was this, it's not like real commercials, right? And it's animals, they show animals, and they explain, okay, are we feeding them properly, are we giving them all what they need and the works, etc., etc. Be careful because animals have needs, so it's a responsibility when you take in an animal. And I thought that was really good, because I mean, in France I was born in such an environment. We are all aware that animals are living beings, and we have to take, it's a responsibility to take in an animal, right? But in Japan I have the feeling that for a very long time pets were not in every case, but still, you know, pets were kind of things. And also like pets, dogs, because they wouldn't have, you know, the small breeds, pets would be the banken, you know, the so kawaii, the guard dog, right? So I mean, a dog, the dogs wouldn't be inside the houses, right? I mean, when I started rescue, I had people tell me when I got Lily, and I realized, I knew that my father could take her in if I couldn't, you know, handle her for at the beginning. And I didn't have a garden, and she was younger than we thought, and it was hard. So I said, okay, hey Dad, I'm taking her back home, give me 6 months to move, and then I will take her back, which I did not, because she was getting on well with him and he loved her. And so anyways, but I said, hey, I have this dog, and they would be like, oh my God, such a big dog, do you have it inside? And first in my head I'm like, it's not a it, it's a she, she's a she, you know. And then I would like, yes, of course, I mean, like, why even ask the question? And the guy would tell me, dogs should be kept outside. Oh my God, I got so mad. I said, hey, you know, I'm not having a dog to have her, I'm not having her to make her live outside. And pets shouldn't be outside, you know. I mean, even, well, maybe it depends on some dogs. I'm not sure, even if I'm against it, you know. Maybe some breeds are stronger than others, but still, I think, you know, when it's snowing and... Anyways, to me, pets shouldn't be outside. I mean, at night, at least they should be kept inside, right? And oh my God, I was so mad. But I know so many people who think that it's okay to have the dogs outside. And I mean, in Nagano, and I'm in Nagano, I know how it works there. You know, some of the animals, even if they think they take good care and they love their animals. Some of the people they love really do love their animals. But the thing is that they keep the animals on the outside during the winter when it's heavily snowing. And I'm sorry, but it's, if you're cold, why shouldn't your animal be cold, you know? So it's tricky, you know, those animal questions. My friends, they take good care. That they have dogs who are on the outside, but during the winter they have a special room for them, you know. I've realized that, you know, not everybody can keep their animals as I keep mine. It doesn't mean that the animals aren't happy, but there is a minimum, you know, to do to so that they stay in good health for a long time, right? Voilà. Alors, any other questions? Hopefully, you know, in Japan, seeing that, you know, there are more and more people having animals and taking good care of them. One thing we really need here is that the law changes, is that they create laws to control the breeding facilities, the individual breeders, the pet shops, etc., because now, I mean, I hear so many stories of people, you know, getting their animals from pet shops also, because if not, the pet shop would get rid of the animals. Because, you know, when the animals are not puppies or nor kitten anymore, they get rid of them, meaning they kill them, you know. So it's a very sad reality, right? But I hear these kind of stories all the time. So I think that there are many things to change in they have to create laws to protect the animals here too. Voilà, bon guys, so we've been doing this for an hour. You think you're going to rescue a cat for Stella? Yes. Does she like cats? Craig's niece runs, oh my god, in Bali? Yes, I bet she has a lot of work, right? Huh? Must be. So guys, heads up if you don't have any questions. Yes, your dog would go in and out of the house. This is good. This is good. Lisa Chan, you're up. Did you show Uncle Phil that you love you? Voilà. Alors guys, if you have any more questions, please go ahead. I'm going to upload, I have to make an intro for the Lisa Chan. Thank you, Nanami-san. Arigatou gozaimasu. Because I took some bits of the shooting at TV Asahi, and you saw some of the bits when I'm talking, you know, during the program. So I'm going to try and make a kind of presentation, let's say, of working for Japanese TV. I'm lacking some of the record bits, like behind the scenes bits, but still, that will give you an idea. I have to work on I have the concept for the lessons. Français, English, Nihongo, right? I have to work on that too. And voilà, next, I don't know when I'm going to do next food or drink hunt. You know what I love with Lisa now is that she looks at you, right? You're so smart. Bisous. Chusuru. Shinai no. Daijoubu. Voilà, guys. I hope this gives you a better idea of the babies and what their story are and why I love them so much. It's because I get the love in return too, right? I will see you very soon, unless one last chance for a question, if it's animal related. Ni? You're talking to them, really? Kawaii. So we will see you very soon. Thank you, Ramses, Jason, and all the others. Voilà, Jeff, Charlie is sleeping, so voilà. And I will see you very, very soon. Stay tuned for the upload of that TV Asahi program thing. And the lessons. I will start with very simple things and then we will go deeper into learning Japanese and French. Okay? Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Bisous, guys. Bisous. Coco desho. See you soon, guys. Jessica, Cheryl, Nosh, Phil. Bisous, Sunshine, Joyce. Marie-Jeanne. À bientôt. Bisous. Bye, guys. Hop.